My name is Josh, aka neat._beats, which is my Instagram name. Or the Fedex guy. You know, the guy that spins in front of the FedEx truck, that's me. I'm 24, about to be 25. I've lived in Colorado pretty much my whole life. You know, I've messed around with like dragon staff and gloving and everything, but poi is definitely my main prop. I've tried spinning clubs a little bit too, but nothing beats poi. I love poi. It's not static, that's why I like it. My style is like very innovative, and I would like to say creative. I used to skateboard for a bit, and so like throwing that into like poi, it's like, you know, it just kind of like translated really well. All the tricks and everything. I love tricks. I do all kinds of things. So one of the things, I like playing Rocket League a lot, and that's also like a very free-flowing game. You can kind of move your car around however you want. Like I said, I used to skateboard as well. I really love skateboarding and longboarding. And it was just kind of, you know, the freedom with both of those. You can kind of do your own thing with those. You can have your own style and everything like that. And that always influenced, you know, my creative process with poi. I always wanted to do something outside the realm of what everyone else was doing and just try to be as creative as possible. I had two friends that were pretty prominent in the poi community, Camresh and Keanu, I almost said Reeves, not Reeves. Keanu Galati, I don't know how to say his last name. I'm sorry, Keanu, if you watch this. Both of them have always been a huge part of poi, and I actually never spun while they were spinning. And so I started out by seeing them spin. I thought it was kind of cool, but I never really got into it. And then Dance Festopia 2017, I decided I really kind of wanted to dive into it. So my first pair of poi was a pair of contact poi with you know, some cotton ropes and palm grips on them. And it was at that point I was like, I want to dedicate as much of my time as possible to poi and try to dive into it as much as possible, because I feel like there's a lot of possibilities with it. I'm going to be honest, it's nice when people are watching you, and it makes me feel inspired to do something even more creative. Like, I always want to come up with the next thing. Even when I'm watching other people's flow, I'll see something they're doing and I'm like, oh, you could add this, this, and this. And I feel like it's just, there's so much creativeness you can do with it, and I love being creative. Flow to me is, it's a state. There's some days where I'll pick up my poi and I can almost just feel them better. You know, I can feel the rope attached to the heads, and I can really feel them in my hands. And it almost is like, I would get that into that state when I would do skateboarding, or I would do anything creative. Like, I also make music as well. So anything creative like that, when you get into that state and you're so focused on it, that's what flow is to me. And I feel like when I'm in the flow state is when I'm the most creative, you know? And it's just a community. It just, when someone says flow, I immediately think of, you know, all my friends that flow and all the people that have been a part of my life that flow and everything. So yeah, that's what flow is to me. I feel like flow has just, it's opened up a whole new community to me. I kind of grew up without really having a lot of friends. I was homeschooled for most of my life. Having a community that I could be a part of and I can contribute to was just so eye-opening for me. You know, I never thought I would have people coming up to me and like recognizing me and stuff for just, you know, spinning some balls in front of a camera. So it's really cool, and it's a great feeling, and I love being a part of the community, and I love being able to add to it with new tricks and everything. You know, I have people message me on Instagram saying, you know, they're inspired to do this or that, and it's crazy, because I don't feel like I deserve that, but I want more people to feel inspired, because I've had so many flow artists inspire me. I want to be a person that inspires people to go beyond the realm of what is known with poi and, you know, flow in general. Usually what I would do is I would like to, when I'm working at Fedex, I like to finish my route early, and then before I go home for the day, I have these things called pickups, which I have to go to a business, pick up packages. Anyways, between that time period, there's usually a lengthy amount of time. So I would usually spend an hour to 2 hours just sitting there flowing, recording myself. And the thing is, I'll watch recordings before, you know, I'm done with my whole flow session. I'll try to pick out things I really like. Sometimes I'll get into a lull of it. I feel like all poi spinners and all flow artists in general will get into a lull, and then you slowly kind of drive yourself out. It doesn't matter how many years you've been into it, everyone's gonna experience that. For me, it's taking a second to really be like thinking about poi and to actually practice it. You know, sometimes it can be hard, but I try to practice, you know, at least 1 to 2 hours a day. For a while, I was practicing 3 to 4 hours a day at a time. You know, I've always had like kind of like makeshift pairs of poi, and I was looking on Poi Chat to try and find recommendations for groups, and I ended up stumbling across Flow on Fire, and I was immediately drawn to it because they had so many options, and I was super about it, and I ended up ordering something from them. And then Britt and Kel, which are the owners of Flow on Fire, they actually reached out to me themselves and just sent me a really nice note and everything. And you know, some of my favorite poi spinners were also sponsored by them. So I was like, you know, in my mind that day when I bought from Flow on Fire, my goal was to eventually be sponsored by Flow on Fire. And, you know, eventually I got there. They're just a really honest company, you know. If they mess something up, they'll fix it immediately, you know, and they're really good about communicating to their customers and to us people that are sponsored by them, you know, what their intentions are, you know, whether, you know, we're gonna be late with an order or, you know, something else got messed up. They're super awesome. And the customer service thing is huge to me. Brings me back every time. I can't imagine myself buying from any other company at this point because I just feel so secure every time I buy from them. And just Britt and Kel themselves are amazing. They send us like gifts with like their picture and like some maple syrup from where they're from in Maine every year, and I love that, and it warms my heart getting those, you know, notes and everything from them. So amazing company, can't say good enough things about it. Cam Reich and Connor Kilben, he's a really good friend, and just, you know, all my friends that I've made up here, they have all contributed to my flow in some way or another, and just having the inspiration from them. I'd also, you know, like to, you know, thank Britt and Kel with Flow on Fire, because it's honestly such a family being sponsored by them, and it's such a family vibe. Like, yeah, I'm so honored to be sponsored by them.